The Steelers quarterback room is basically the greatest game of musical chairs of all time. Welcome everybody to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Gare 9, representing the 904 from the 602, and today we have breaking news out of Pittsburgh. The Justin Fields saga is officially over. We were wondering, would he stay? Would he go? Where would he get traded? What would his compensation be? And now we know, because the Chicago Bears have just traded their first-round pick from the 2021 NFL Draft, Justin Fields, to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a 2025 draft pick. Now, this pick is guaranteed to be at least a sixth-round pick, but there are playing time escalators in there that would get it up to a fourth-round pick, depending on how much Justin Fields plays and what incentives he could hit, what milestones he could hit during that playing time. We don't know the full details, but we do know that it will be a sixth-round pick that could go up to a fourth-round pick. Now, we knew that Justin Fields was going to be gone for a long time. It was the worst-kept secret in the NFL that Justin Fields was out. Number one, the Bears have the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. They get pick 101 with Caleb Williams out of USC. And if there was any doubt that they were going to take Williams first overall, well, this move basically solidifies that. On top of that, if that wasn't enough, the Bears signed Brett Rypien in free agency, which didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense if you were going to keep Fields on the roster, because why would you have four quarterbacks if you're going to take Caleb Williams first overall? Why would you have four quarterbacks on the 53? Why would you sign a quarterback that early in a free agency in that first or second wave if he's not going to make the team? Why would Rypien even sign that contract? Well, now we know why, because Justin Fields is no longer going to be there. Now, the Steelers, this move makes sense for them. They have Russell Wilson on the roster. They got him in free agency after the Denver Broncos released him, but they do need some more quarterbacks on the roster after trading Kenny Pickett away to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Pittsburgh Steelers always keep three quarterbacks on the roster. That's been Mike Tomlin's MO ever since he got to the team in 2007. In fact, the only season that he didn't end with three quarterbacks on the final roster was in 2019, and that season there's a giant asterisk next to it because Ben Roethlisberger was on IR, the number one QB, and Mason Rudolph, the number two QB, who's now with the Tennessee Titans, he was on IR. So some weird circumstances there in terms of the injury bug. But long story short, Mike Tomlin always keeps three quarterbacks on the roster. You thought maybe they were going to sign a free agent like Ryan Tannehill, although he's not really the same player as Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson very mobile, Ryan Tannehill not so much. Fields very similar play style to Russell Wilson in terms of being able to move, and if one of them goes down or one of them loses on the job, you can immediately plug and play the other guy in and not have to change a whole lot. Justin Fields ends his time in Chicago, 3 seasons, 10-28 record, 40 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. Remember that the Bears traded up to get Fields, gave up a future first-round pick to do so as well in that trade with the New York Giants. Last season, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks, went 5-8 as a starter. He missed 4 games with an injury, major trouble avoiding sacks, 135 sacks in 3 seasons, 44 last season, sacked on 12.4% of his dropbacks over his career, well above the league-wide average. You saw that lack of pocket presence, especially in that game against the Green Bay Packers on the final day of the season, when it seemed like every time the Bears had a third down situation, Fields took a massive sack. Here's what I don't get about this move, though, for the Chicago Bears. A 2025 sixth-round pick that becomes a fourth-rounder based on playing time. In essence, you got nothing for him. In essence, you got absolutely nothing whatsoever for Justin Fields. At that point, why would you even trade him? Honestly, at this point, why would you even trade him? Number one, if you're looking for a backup quarterback, I take Fields over Tyson Bagent. I take him over Brett Rypien. For a $6 million cap hit, he's a quality number 2 option. You don't need to free up cap space. You've got a crap ton of cap space as it is. The Bears have the 5th most cap space in football as of this video, $35 million. It'd be different if this was a Chargers situation or a Jets situation where you're trying to free up cap space to potentially sign someone. If the Bears had $10 million in cap space, okay, I get this move. Clear $6 million off the books. But Fields is a quality number 2 option, better than Bagent, better than Rypien. Why would you even get rid of him at that point if this is what you're going to get? If Caleb Williams isn't ready to go, are you comfortable trotting out Brett Rypien, Tyson Bagent as the starting quarterback for a few games? Probably not. Justin Fields? You probably could. Again, I'm not saying Fields is that good. I believe that the Bears should have moved on from him. I was pounding the table saying that he cannot be the quarterback going into the next season, that you have to take Caleb Williams or you have to get someone in free agency because his pocket presence is abysmal, and if you still have question marks about the guy entering year 4, he's probably not the guy. but looking at what quarterbacks make, he likely would have netted you a very good compensatory pick in 2026. That would have been at least a 4th rounder, no strings attached. Look at what Sam Darnold got from the Minnesota Vikings. He got $10 million. I'm taking Fields over Sam Darnold. Tyrod Taylor from the New York Jets got $9 million. Who knows what Fields could have gotten? You probably could have gotten a pretty high compensatory pick in 2026 from a team willing to take a chance on him, maybe a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Who knows? And this is especially true because, yes, the Bears get an extra pick in 2025 to work with, but you don't need the draft capital in 2025. You really don't. For one, the Bears, Ryan Poles, and Matt Eberflus, they're on the hot seat as it is going to the season. If this season goes completely down the drain, they might both be gone, especially Eberflus. Not sure about Poles, but especially Eberflus. So it's not like you're stacking up draft picks for the future when you might not even be there. Usually desperate teams, when they need to do well this season or else they're gone, they don't trade away guys to get future picks. And on top of that, even if you're not thinking like that, the Bears did have a 2nd round pick from the Carolina Panthers that they got in that Bryce Young trade last year. They get that pick in 2025. So even before this trade, you had 8 picks already. If the Bears had 5 picks or 6 picks going into the 2025 NFL draft, okay, you might want to get 7. You might want to get 1 per round on average. But you're not in need of stockpiling picks. The Bears have 9 picks now in the 2025 NFL draft that they don't necessarily need to have that many this early on. Again, I'm not saying they don't need to have 9 picks in the 2025 NFL draft, but if it comes through trades in 2024 in the NFL draft, that's very different than the situation they're in right now. Again, Justin Fields not cost you a lot of money. Cap hit, not a lot. The Bears have cap space as it is. He's a better option than Bajan and Rippon, and you're going to get the same compensation in 2026 for a compensatory pick in all likelihood that you would have gotten in the 2025 NFL draft by trading him to the Steelers in a move that is based on performance escalators and playing time and whatnot. Again, you probably would have got a 2026 compensatory 4th round pick as it was. Now the best you can get is a 2025 compensatory 4th round pick, and that's assuming that he starts. I don't know if he's going to start. Russell Wilson could definitely be the starter there. Mike Tomlin made Kenny Pickett very aware that Russell Wilson was going to get the reps at number 1. I don't know if that changes with Justin Fields in the equation. This move makes sense for Pittsburgh. Chicago, I'm not sure I would have done it. I probably would have held on to Fields just a little bit longer, see if you can drive up the price during the NFL draft, because you figure teams like Minnesota, Denver, New York, they all want J.J. McCarthy. They all want him inside the top 5. 2 of them are going to miss out. 2 of them are going to miss out, and they might need something at quarterback. I think the Bears maybe could have gone a lot more, if not in a trade at the NFL draft, when a team might panic and might need a quarterback. If not then, at the very least in 2026 via a compensatory selection when Fields walks in free agency from the Chicago Bears, because obviously you weren't going to re-sign him since you're taking Caleb Williams 1st overall. This move doesn't really change anything in terms of the Bears' QB plans. Obviously, we knew Caleb Williams is going 1st overall. This just solidifies that even more. And if it's not Caleb Williams, for whatever reason, it will definitely be a quarterback. But it's going to be Caleb Williams. We all know it's going to be Caleb Williams, barring a catastrophic injury or something absolutely shocking. It will be Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. This doesn't change any of that, just solidifies what we already know. But an interesting quarterback competition heating up in Pittsburgh, nonetheless, between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. The Steelers probably still draft a quarterback just because they like keeping 3 quarterbacks on the roster, but they might not draft one of the first 4 rounds anymore. Like I said the other day, they might wait until later on in day 3 to do so. But what are your thoughts on this trade? Do you like the compensation? Do you think the Bears won the trade? Do you think the Steelers won this trade? How would you grade Justin Fields' tenure in Chicago, keeping everything in mind, including the fact that I don't know how it happened, but in 2022, he actually got a vote for MVP. I don't know what voter was drunk when he gave that award, but what are your thoughts on all this? Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to do for this episode of JG9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, JaguarGator9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is JaguarGator9 signing off, and as always, go Jags.